Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new day of Road to TCG Worlds 2017. Now last week in the Spanish stream I ended up using this Primarina-GX deck which a lot of people liked and it seems quite interesting. The grass weakness definitely hurts it in the sense that the CGI is a really powerful card right now. Alolan GX is about to come out and it being a stage 2 also hurts it, but you can definitely reach a certain point of like a tilting point where you're dealing enough damage with Primarina-GX in order to one-shot absolutely anything. With Bubble Beat, 10 damage plus 20 more for every water energy attached. And Roaring Seas also has some pretty decent use by removing energy off of your opponent's active Pokemon. Grand Echo GX can be very annoying for your opponent to deal with sometimes. However, we do have Rough Seas to aid with the healing. And as I was saying, well, Primarina-GX's attack is very similar, of course, to Darkrai EX's attack, which deals damage based on the darkness energy in play. But Primarina in Standard gets the benefit of Max Elixir and Aqua Patch, whereas Darkrai in Standard only has Max Elixir and Baby Yveltal to work off of. Now, as far as support Pokemon go, I have Vulpix, I have Manaphy-EX for free retreat, I have a 1/1 Octillery line, and I have one Tapu Lele. The supporter cards are pretty standard. The 4 Aqua Patch and 4 Max Elixir do take up a lot of space, and along with the Rare Candies, Ultra Ball and VS Seekers, it's actually not that simple to maintain a low item count in order to counteract Garbodor decks. But I'm not saying Primarina is the next best thing. I'm just saying it was really fun using it the other day on stream. So let's try and play probably just one game, because as we head into Burning Shadows, I'm gonna see if I have time to get some how do you say it? To get some different videos done for next week, the daily videos, instead of doing deck profiles of decks we've already done or like new roguish fun decks. I'm gonna try to do some more animated videos, if you will, experimenting with Adobe After Effects, because it's been a while since I've used it, and hopefully we can, or rather I can produce some content like analyzing the new GX cards such as Gardevoir, Golisopod, Marshadow, Ho-Oh, all of those, and really checking how they... Wow, is this the Quad Wolfet deck? Maybe. And really like going in depth into how they're going to impact the metagame, their strengths, their weaknesses, things like that. Hopefully I'll have time to do that. Now, this is a Wolfet energy removal, like stalling type of deck. We missed the Elixir, which is not good. I already have the Rare Candy in my hand, so I'm just gonna pass. But this kind of deck is going to be really, really annoying to deal with. We see a captivating Pokebuff, so my opponent gets to see my hand. He goes for a Crushing Hammer and flips Tails, which is always good. And he's going to end our hand away of Octillery and Primarina. Now, having Octillery on the bench might actually be too big of a liability for me to risk it. And I really don't understand how my opponent's deck deals with Garbodor, but hey. If it works for him, might as well. Now, we didn't get a single supporter card, so I'm actually going to beacon for Manaphy. Well, not Manaphy, just Tapu Lele. Well, I guess I'll grab the Manaphy, but I shouldn't have ever benched the Remoraid. That was a big mistake because My opponent will always have an Octillery in the active spot, so I will never be able to use Octillery. We see another Crushing Hammer Tails, which is great. We see a Skyla for a Captivating Pokepuff. And he's gonna bench my Lele and my Manaphy, so I don't get to use their abilities. I wasn't planning on benching them. I actually wasn't planning on benching them, but we can be patient here, I think. Seeing that, I should definitely just thin out my deck from evolutions. Definitely thin out my deck from evolutions. Okay. You see a Brigette. And basically what I want to do is have these 1 energy retreat attackers and have enough energy on Primarina and then keep some energy in my hand so that I can retreat whenever he does use Lysander, and that should be able to win me the game. Like having 5 or 6 energy on Primarina is ideal. Okay, I don't know what else my opponent is thinking of. And yeah, these kind of decks are definitely not very fun to play against. They're not very exciting. You're just trying to build up 1 threat and that's it. Okay, so the fact that my opponent has not been able to remove an energy is actually hurting us in the sense that we can't use that Aqua Patch to its full potential, but this is fine. I'm gonna touch another energy to Primarina. I'm going to Ultra Ball away the 2 Popplios for a Primarina, and I'm going to Beacon for the last 2 Pokemon in my deck. Basically with this, now I have successfully fully thinned out my deck, and then next turn I can just start retreating into Primarina and start taking knockouts. And I know I have Aqua Patches still in my deck. Double tails, so that's four tails in a row for my opponent, which is really unlucky, of course. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna attach an energy and I'm going to retreat, right? So now I take a knockout, and if he uses Lysander, everything has 1 retreat gust, so I have the energy to retreat. And if he uses Team Flare Grunt to remove an energy, I have an energy in my hand to retreat. So that works out pretty nicely. There's the Wob. There's the Wob. One via Seeker for Skyla. Okay, that works. That means we get another knockout here, which is awesome. For a Puzzle of Time. Okay, so he's probably going to get back both Crushing Hammers, I would expect. Yep. He's flipped 4 tails so far, so I wouldn't be surprised to see double heads here, which would actually be bad. There's one. And there's the other, so yeah. It compensates, but it actually helps my opponent that he flipped all those tails earlier on, because of the fact that he gets to... Like before, I wasn't able to use my Aqua Patch, so I would be in a much better position right here. Now, Remoraid is able to switch itself out. So the energy I'm gonna attach to Manaphy this other energy I'm gonna attach to Primarina, and I'm going to end here. Looking for more Aqua Patches, I'm looking for more things. Okay, there's 2 Aqua Patches. So if I spread the energy here onto the water type Pokemon, this means that not only do they have free retreat, or not free retreat, but I can retreat them. The only Pokemon I can essentially not retreat is Tapu Lele. I also get to get a one-shot with Bubble Beat. And even if he removes 1 more energy, I can still take a knockout, because I'm dealing 130 now, minus 1 energy, that would be 110. But we do want to draw more energy, for sure. So now there's 3 Aqua Patches gone. We see a Team Floor Grunt, that is fine, and a pass. We get an Elixir, which means my opponent can no longer Lysander me, and we get to use Bubble Beat. However, we will need another water energy on my active Pokemon, and I get it off of my prizes, which is great. So right now, all we're looking for are supporter cards, so that we can prevent this situation. Or if he flips heads here, we are going to be in a ton of trouble. And he flips tails, okay. So no triple Crushing Hammer head flips in a row. And there's no more Pokemon left in my deck, right? So I'm just gonna take a knockout here. Well, if he ends, it's better for me to use Ultra Ball to thin out my deck. And wow, there are actually cards here. There's still 3 energy left in my deck. There's still 2 VS Seekers, 2 Sycamore, 2 N. The Sycamore will, the ends will no longer be useful. And since the VS Seekers and Sycamores are in my deck, that means they're not in my prize card. So yeah, my prize card was definitely not going to be useful. And so now if my opponent removes another energy, if my opponent decides to remove another energy, we are going to be, or it is successful in removing another energy, we might be in a lot of trouble. Puzzle of time for double Crushing Hammers? No, for 1 Crushing Hammer and 1 Wolfet. So, does he flip tails? Yes, he does. Okay, so that's very close to game, I would say. He VS Seekers for Grunt, but he already used Skyla. And with this energy we did just top deck, I assume that that should be game. Now I'm gonna use the Ultra Ball once again to thin out my deck. You can see how important it is to thin out your deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We know there's 2 energy left. So there's actually an energy in my prize cards, which could help me out here, just in case he flips a heads and removes an energy, but no, there we go. We get a win here, a very solid win. And yeah, I guess I'll play another match, because that one was decently quick, despite playing against such an annoying deck. What's the next card? Oh, it's Chandler, okay. It's Chandler. Okay, so let's keep at it. And yeah, this week I'll be showcasing like fun-ish decks. This is Primarina. We'll have Como, we'll have Honchkrow with Tapu Koko, and we'll have Typhlosion, which is a deck that has been requested a lot, but I never did end up using it. We get to go first once again, which is pretty cool. And we see double Popplio. Double Popplio start, but nothing else to go with that. So we are in top deck mode. And we get a Brigette off of our top deck, which is actually pretty amazing. I'm just gonna grab 1 Remoraid and 1 Popplio. That leaves space for Manaphy and for a potential Tapu Lele if I need it. It's very rare that I'll need to use all 4 Primarinas, that I'll even be able to manage to set all 4 Primarinas. Psychic Sleeves, Psychic Deck Box, or a Guru start, and there's an end, so pretty awesome. Pretty awesome, as it's very unlikely that we'll get such a bad hand off of an end. And close-ish, but we get Lele and we get an end ourselves, so that's pretty good. Okay, Eevee, I mean Espeon will be annoying to deal with. I'm surprised my opponent is running Trainer's Mail. I guess I'm not too surprised, but it's an interesting inclusion. Instruct for 1 card. He's looking for a Psychic Energy to evolve it to his Espeon, and he doesn't find it. So being behind in an energy drop so quickly is actually pretty detrimental to my opponent. We actually don't. We actually. Do I have Skyla in this? Yeah, I do have Skyla. So I could actually Lele for Skyla, for Ultra Ball, for Octillery, instead of giving my opponent extra cards. Yep, there's the Skyla. So Espeon will be annoying to deal with for sure. Wow, we see 2 Aqua Patches are priced. That could be good or bad. We also see a Roxy's is priced. Okay, Ultra Ball away the energy and the N for Octillery, and then next turn we actually have via Seeker for Skyla for Rare Candy, which is pretty nice. So yeah, that Brigette top deck was so crucial, so crucial. Put hand for 3 extra cards. Wow, we get another Max Elixir, which we do with, but that is okay, and we're just gonna pound the Orange Guru. So we also really want Manaphy-EX here in order to mitigate the confusion damage from my opponent. There we see the Garb. We currently only have 3 item cards, soon to be a 4th. Wow, he actually decides to Field Blower away his own Choice Band just so that he can use Instruct, and he gets a Sycamore. In the process loses a Super Rod and a Garbodor. There we finally see the Energy Evolution. See another Eevee. So yeah, this will be a very interesting war of attrition. The Rough Seas can help us in dealing with the extra damage output. And yeah, I think Skyla for Rare Candy is correct here, because I remove the confusion, I get a hit in, and I get a hit in on the Espeon, and I have Octillery. And my opponent has no Trubbish in place, so that means Garbotoxin will not be here this turn. Or I mean the next turn, and maybe it won't even be active the next turn. So we do Abyssal Hand for 3 more cards. Got a Choice Band, pretty good, but we're not getting any other supporters. So if we get confused, that's gonna be really annoying. We might actually have to risk the confusion flip. There's now 5 item cards in my discard pile, but we do have 250 HP, which is a lot. Now, maybe my opponent will decide that he wants to attack with Psychic, which I think would probably be the correct choice for him. Probably. But because of our current setup, we really need to find the stage 1, which I forgot the name, or another Rare Candy for next turn. Okay, so he does decide to go for damage. So if I manage to heal, wow, I top deck the Rare Candy. If I somehow manage to either find Manaphy-EX or a Rough Seas, my Primarina might actually be able to survive the hit, or survive the next turn. And we get a Via Seeker, and we get an Ultra Ball. So I'm gonna search for the Manaphy. That seems like the best choice. I could even, yeah, I could even Skyla for Rough Seas as well. Now I don't need the Aqua Patch just now. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 item cards already in my discard pile. With this Via Seeker, that would be 8. That's 160 damage. I guess my Primarina gets knocked out if he has a Lysander no matter what. So might as well. Might as well use the Skyla. The Via Seeker for Skyla for Rough Seas. And the Aqua Patch as well. It's very unlikely that my opponent will knock out the active Primarina. And actually, I needed the Aqua Patch in order to deal enough damage. I was not taking into account that the active Primarina did not have a Choice Band. So that was pretty crucial. We actually drew the perfect cards off of Octillery. The perfect cards. Okay. So I feel like we have this game under control. I really feel like we have this game under control. You see a Rainbow Energy, interestingly enough. Does that mean my opponent is using Drampa GX? I see an Ultra Ball. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 180 damage. That's enough to knock out Tapu Lele. We could see Ultra Ball for Lele. You definitely see that. Ultra Ball for Lele, Lele for Lysander, and knock out the benched Primarina-GX. And that could potentially be a big problem. The energy I attached to Popplio might have been better off on the other Primarina-GX, on the active one, so that I could have Roaring Seas as an option to deal damage with. We do see a follow-up Trubbish though, and we see a Sycamore, so my opponent is going to attack my Primarina for a lot of damage. I will be able to heal it, but the bench Primarina will still not be in a safe range. And wow, we see Nest Ball as well. So maybe my opponent just doesn't have Tapu Lele. Maybe my opponent just doesn't have Tapu Lele here. Okay, so we see a Trash Avalanche for 180. Immediately, I'm gonna Rough Seas here. Another energy does mean I get a knockout. However, if my opponent knocks me out, knocks one of my Primarinas. Okay, basically 180 plus 90, that's 270. I cannot heal anymore. I could attack with Manaphy, but no. I'm gonna leave the energy on the bench Primarina. I don't think there's any way I mean, if my opponent Lysanders, he Lysanders, and that's fine. Another item card, so that's 10 now. I don't want to place another one, so I'm just gonna use Bubble Beats for the knockouts. The bench Primarina can get healed. It can get an extra energy off of Aqua Patch or the one I have in my hand. It also has a Choice Band, which is pretty good. Would be very close to getting fully healed, and if my opponent does manage to knock out the active Primarina, I can just end him down to 4 cards. To see a Field Blower, removing the Stadium and the Choice Band, so that's 11 item cards now, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 220 damage. See another bench Trubbish. My opponent not finding Garbodor and Psychic would be really unlucky. Really unlucky for him. I do need to build up enough energy though. To get a potential knockout on a Drampa. Like that Drampa seems to me that's gonna be the target I need to knock out. But wow, my opponent actually attaches energy to Eevee. That's great. Because that means no Garbodor. And that means our Primarinas actually survive. So now we're gonna see a VS Seeker. Wow. I'm really surprised he didn't try to go for the Garb. Okay. So we lose the Choice Band, which could have been crucial, and the energy and the Aqua Patch to get a one-shot on the Espeon. We find another Primarina. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 energy. That's 150 damage total. That is 150 damage total. Aqua Patch makes it 170. So we need Skyla for Choice Band, which we just got. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 150. I'm pretty sure this is correct. Okay, first I need to retreat though, so that the energy of the Aqua Patch goes to this Primarina. Awesome. And then I'm going to VS Seeker for Skyla, so we didn't get to play a single Sycamore here. Skyla for Choice Band, which we know is in there because it was in our previous hand. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 160 plus 10. That's 170 plus the Choice Band. That is 200 damage. Getting an energy off of Octillery would just be icing on the cake. We actually do not, but we do find the Brionne. That was the name I was looking for. So that's pretty good. I will Bubble Beat for 200 damage exactly. And now I really don't care if I lose my Primarina. There's a victory. So Primarina takes on Espeon Garb and is successful. Against a list that apparently didn't have any Tapu Lele-s. If you had Lele for Lysander in that turn, I think he would have been in a very good position to win the game. But alas, his list was not ideal. So yeah, that's gonna be it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another fun deck. Bye bye.